Okay, it's time for my list of the best metal albums of May 2023. I have 16 albums for you ranked from my least favorite to my favorite. So let me just get right into it so this isn't too long. Coming in at number 16 is Drain with Living Proof. It's a short 25-minute crossover thrash album with a few surprises mixed in. Most of the songs are just straightforward crossover thrash. They have this rap song called Intermission featuring Shakewell. I assume he's a rapper. Mixes thrash riffs with hip hop, and another song called Good Things, which is more like pop punk, but otherwise lots of polymuted guitar riffs, songs that would create a mosh pit in a live setting. Not much more to say about this. If you like bands like Municipal Waste or Iron Reagan, check. At number 15 is Metal Church with Congregation of Annihilation. Another one I reviewed recently. I wasn't completely blown away by it, but there are some good enough things for it to make the list. The front half is very good. Another Judgment Day, Congregation of Annihilation, and Pick a God and Pray are very good metal songs. The next three are probably my favorites. Children of the Lie, Me, The Nothing, and Making Monsters. I think that's the best part. Then after that, the songs are okay, just not very memorable. I also think the vocals are kind of like, they get annoying, like Mark Lopez. He lets out these high screams too much, but otherwise, not too bad. I know some people really like it, but for me, it's worthy of a mention at number 15. And number 14 is Immortal with War Against Soul. They are a well-known black metal band. It was my first time listening to this band. I thought it was good, but here are my thoughts again. First two songs, War Against Soul and Thunders of Darkness, were okay. They didn't stand out that much. The next three songs were the best on the album. War God, No Sun, and Return to Cold. Those were a little different. They had some more atmosphere and guitar riffs. Return to Cold reminded me a little of Amon Amarth. They had the 7-minute instrumental, which wasn't really necessary, but not too bad. Then they finished the album with some good songs, Immortal and Blash Kish My Throne. Not very high on my list, but again, worth a mention. The number 13 is Kalmah, the self-titled with Kalmah. They're a melodic death metal band. This band reminded me a little of Amon Amarth or Insomnium. More heavy death growls and melodic guitar riffs with some old school death metal sounds. I thought the song Veil of Sin was very good. It had some like folk metal style guitar riffs. I also like No Words, Sad Enough. It has some soft violins and piano and an atmospheric sound. They have a song Home Sweet Hell. Just a very good song title. Then Tons of Chaos, another good one with a neoclassical interlude. Overall, very good melodic death metal band. It doesn't get a lot of. At number 12 is Cloak with Black Flame Eternal. Another black metal band. It was recommended to me by the Green Men channel. It's typical black metal with a tremolo picking and blast beats, but they also have some clean guitars and they mix in some other sounds that makes them unique. I like the song Shadowlands. It goes through lots of different emotions, heavy and melodic parts. I like Invictus, really good, lots of energetic rhythms and softer, cleaner sections, nice balance of the heavy and light, and an acoustic track called Heavenless towards the end of the album. Overall, not too bad. At number 11 is Frozen Soul with Glacial Domination. This is old school death metal. They write songs within the context of being in the freezing cold. I remember they released their debut album in 2021. This one's probably a little better. I've heard this band compared to like Bolt Thrower. The songs are heavy. They're not always fast paced. Sometimes they slow it down. They have some guests on the album. They have Matt Heafy from Trivium, John Gallagher of Dying Fetus, and someone who goes by the name of Ghost, which is G-O-S-T. Some of the best songs, Glacial Domination, Morbid Effigy. And they have a song named after themselves called Frozen Soul, which I am seeing a lot this month, and you're going to be like hearing that, I think, like a couple more times in this review. But I like the interludes. They like these like horror movie like interludes, and there's a 1-minute instrumental called Annihilation. Overall, great album for fans of old school death metal. At number 10 is Thulcandra with Hail the Abyss. It's a band, they play melodic black metal. I was not very familiar with them, but I've heard people compare them to the band Dissection. Has a sound you would expect, heavy black metal vocals, fast drum beats, atmospheric background noises and slow and melodic breakdowns, some beautiful guitar melodies. The title track, Hail the Abyss, filled with black metal style tremolo picking, harsh vocals, and some tempo changes that slow down and go into these heavier breakdowns. Other songs like Velvet Damnation have some cool, like Iron Maiden style melodic guitar riffs, and Wings of Cosmic Fire, some cool chugging and thrashy riffs. So there are also a few acoustic instrumentals, so worthy of this list. At number 9 is Winger with 7. They are one of the glam metal bands I used to listen to when I first started to get into metal back in the 80s. Since then, they've evolved. They have some more progressive elements. They have a sound closer to melodic rock, but still very good. The opening track, Proud Desperado, very energetic. Next song, Heaven's Falling, was more melodic. Some songs that bring back that classic sound. They have a track called Resurrect Me, and they have a power ballad called Broken Glass. Some other good songs are Do or Die, a very powerful arena rock song with an emotional performance. Time Bomb with some dirty and groovy riffs. Overall, a good album from an old glam metal band from the 80s. At number 8 is one I just reviewed, Elegant Weapons, Horns for a Halo. They are the metal supergroup. I listened to it again, today, and it's still a very good album. First 3 tracks are rockers. You got Dead Man Walking, Do or Die, Blind Leading the Blind. The ballad Ghost of You, one of my favorites, and I like the next few tracks. Bitter Pill, the title track Horns for a Halo, and that was more like sludgy and groovy songs. And they have a cover of Lights Out by UFO, probably better than the original maybe. Lots of energy and rhythm, but overall a good album. At number 7 is Enforcer with Nostalgia. It's a fun, traditional heavy metal band, part of that new wave of bands bringing back traditional sound. Lots of catchy songs, heavy and fast-paced. I would say the band plays a mix of speed metal, traditional metal, and glam metal. The vocals are in the high range, similar to a singer like Mark Slaughter. The album has lots of guitar riffs and energy. Some of the best songs are Unshackle Me, Heartbeats, Kiss of Death, Nostalgia, and Keep the Flame Alive. And let me read a quote from thedarkmelody.com. They say, "They don't strive to create the best album you've heard this year, but you'll come back to it knowing the fun and liberating sensations nostalgia gives us." So that basically sums up this. Now, we're in the top 6. I have some obvious ones, and I have some surprises like towards the front half. Like ones I wouldn't really expect to be that high when I first reviewed them, but let's get into the top 6. So we have Cattle Decapitation with Terrasite at 6. So this album's been getting a lot of praise from the metal communities. I know some people have said one of the best albums of the year so far. For me, I think it's very good, not like that great, but still worthy of making this list. It's up pretty high. They are death metal. They write like environmentally conscious lyrics. This album is about like a Terrasite, this cockroach-like creature that evolves to devour the earth in the future. So the album is filled with technical riffs, fast-paced drumming, lots of different vocal styles. So we have Scoured of the Offspring. It's brutal and heavy, technical guitar riffs, and they move like with a great like snare drum sound. And the album has a powerful and well-balanced sound. And I really like the song The Insignificance. It has that like bass guitar that really stands out. So this is overall a really good album. If you like extreme music, you'll definitely like this. At number 5, I have Sleep Token with Take Me Back to Eden. This album grows on you with each listen. So initially, I wasn't a fan of this. I kind of struggled to grasp their style, but if you give them a chance and accept them for what they are, you kind of discover the songs are very well made and impressive. They're very talented. The album has a really good front half. You got the first single, Chokehold, blending R&B and pop and droning guitars and heavy metalcore style riffs, and then the Summoning with some pretty cool compositions, maintaining a pop and R&B vibe and heavy breakdowns reminiscent of Sugar. Now, this band is very original. I think that's what appeals to me. It's a balance between pop and metal. It kind of like engages listeners. So, in summary, it's a very unique band with like lots of pop elements, and they might turn listeners away, but I think there's enough metal here to capture my interest, and I have it up high. It's number 5. I've listened to this multiple times since it came out. I actually really like it. Not the top 4. These are kind of albums that I didn't expect to be so high, but as I revisited them, they happen to be like the best albums of the month. So, Alcatrazz, Take No Prisoners. Classic heavy metal album with some neoclassical flavor. This band was around in the 80s. They took a long break. It was like better than I expected. It's a mix of 70s metal with Rainbow and Deep Purple, some 80s traditional metal with Judas Priest. You got the album opener, Little Viper. That's a banger. They have a collaboration with the band Girl School. And then they have other songs like Gates of Destiny. That's a hard rocker with some like Iron Maiden-esque lead melodies. And Power in Number is a song similar to like Rainbow of the 70s. Overall, it's a good album. If you like that classic 70s, early 80s metal, if you're like an older guy, 40 plus, you'll definitely like this. At number 3, I have Terrapy with Hardcore Fire. You all know I love the grunge scene from the 90s, so that's why I have this up high. It's just straight out of the 90s grunge days. They're similar to Nirvana. They had that early 90s sound, and short album, 30 minutes long. They got some good songs, Poundland of Hope and Glory. That's very catchy. They have Ugly with like the self-depreciating lyrics, like, I punch myself in the face because I am unworthy of your love, and those types of lyrics. Other good songs like To Disappear, Woe and Joy, they're emotional and have lots of catchy hooks and grungy guitars. So overall, a fun throwback to the grunge years. Now, number 2 is Tygers of Tang with Bloodlines. This one actually surprised me because when I first listened to it, it was okay. But it just like really, really grew on me. So this is one of the original new wave of British heavy metal bands from back in the day. They evolved their sound. Now they're more hard rock or arena rock. And it's just like really good. I think it just has all these like catchy choruses. I think it's a type of band for fans of Deep Purple or Whitesnake. You got songs like Edge of the World, Back for Good, Fire on the Horizon, the super catchy arena rock songs. Kiss the Sky, that's more of a glam metal song with some heavy guitar riffs. And the final song, Making All the Rules, that one reminded me of like Bad Company from the 70s. But overall, like comparing this to the other ones, it's just really good start to finish. That's why I have it up very high. And my number 1, another one that's surprising, Burning Witches with the Dark Tower. They're an all-female heavy metal band. They have a very distinct sound. They bring back the sound of the early 80s. I guess you can compare them to Iron Maiden and Judas Priest and Dio and Accept and Warlock. You know, they have that distinct image. They write songs about witchcraft and the occult. So lots of great songs. My favorite is The Dark Tower, the title track. It's a catchy song. Some old school like thrash metal riffs. They have a few instrumental interludes. You got the clean guitars and the neoclassical sounds. And you got Heart of Ice, great song reminding me of classic Maiden. And the 2 covers, Shot in the Dark by Ozzy and I Want to Be Somebody by Wasp. So this is an album. It's an hour long, but it's just straightforward classic metal horror movies. You got vampires, witches, and this is just a band that needs more attention. I really like it, so that's my number 1. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what you thought of my list. You can put your top 10 or your list in the comment section, and we can talk about it and share our thoughts. Please like the video. It helps me with the algorithm. Subscribe and check out this video here. I don't know what it is, but I'll put something related. So I will see you in the next one.